She had only stepped into the grocery store to buy a loaf of bread, but fate had other plans. No one noticed her trembling hands or the pain hiding behind her tired smile, until suddenly, she collapsed between the bread aisle and the dairy section. People froze, some stared, others walked away, but one woman stepped forward and changed everything. Martha Ben. It was 62 years old, but life had aged her far beyond her years. Once full of laughter and energy, she now moved like a fragile leaf on a windy day. It had been 6 months since she lost her husband Daniel to a sudden heart attack. He had been her world, her best friend, her partner in every silly joke, every quiet midnight conversation. Without him, life felt colorless. She lived alone in a small apartment filled with old photographs and memories that echoed louder than any voice. Her pension barely covered the rent, so she cut down on everything: electricity, medicine, even food. She would often go to bed hungry, convincing herself that a cup of tea counted as dinner, but today she had run out of bread, so she wrapped herself in her worn-out coat, grabbed her shopping bag, and walked to the nearby grocery store. The automatic doors slid open with a familiar whoosh. The warm air inside greeted her, along with the beeping of cashiers and chatter of families. She paused for a moment, clutching the cart, steadying herself. The bright lights made everything look too sharp, too real. She swallowed hard and forced a smile. She wandered slowly through the aisles, picking up only the essentials: a loaf of bread, a carton of milk, and a small pack of eggs. She stopped near the fruit section, looking longingly at the fresh strawberries. Daniel used to buy them for her every Sunday morning. He would cut them into heart shapes and serve them with pancakes. She reached her hand toward the strawberries, then pulled it back. Too expensive. As she walked toward the checkout counter, her chest began to tighten. A sharp pain shot down her arm. She tried to breathe, but each breath felt heavier than the last. She gripped the cart for support, but her vision blurred. The floors wobbled beneath her feet. She blinked rapidly, panicking. Not here, not now. She tried to call for help, but her voice came out as a whisper. No one noticed. People rushed past her, focused on their own errands, their own busy lives. She felt invisible. Her legs buckled. The world tilted sideways. Her shopping bag slipped from her hand as she collapsed onto the cold, polished floor. Martha lay on the floor, gasping for breath, her heart pounding like a drum inside her chest. Conversations around her continued as if nothing had happened. A young man pushing a cart looked at her, hesitated, then turned away. A woman with a phone pressed to her ear walked right past, muttering someone should help her, but kept walking. She heard fragments of voices. Is she okay? Maybe she's just tired. Don't touch her. You could get sued. Their words stung more than the pain in her chest. She wasn't a lawsuit. She wasn't a burden. She was just human, scared, alone, desperate. Her vision flickered like a dying light bulb. She tried to reach for her fallen groceries as if holding onto them would ground her. The bread was crushed beneath someone's shoe. The milk had cracked open, leaking slowly across the floor like spilled hope. Tears welled in her eyes. Is this how it ends, on a grocery store floor, surrounded by strangers who refused to care? Just then, footsteps approached, soft, hurried footsteps, not of hesitation, but urgency. A warm hand gently touched her shoulder. Ma'am, can you hear me? A calm female voice asked. Martha struggled to open her eyes. A young woman knelt beside her, her face full of worry, not fear. She was in her early 30s, wearing a simple sweater and jeans. Her grocery cart was abandoned behind her. My name is Lily, she said firmly. I'm going to help you, okay? Stay with me. Unlike the others, she didn't stand back. She didn't wait for permission. She took action. She lifted Martha's head gently and slid her folded jacket beneath it. Someone call an ambulance, she shouted. Not as a request, but a command. This time, people listened. A store employee hurried over with water. Another person fetched a blanket from the back. The crowd began to move, but only because Lily had moved first. Martha's breathing was shallow. She tried to speak. I'm fine, she whispered weakly. Lily shook her head. You don't have to be fine. You just have to hold on. In that moment, those words felt like the warmest embrace. The ambulance arrived within minutes, but to Martha, it felt like an eternity. Lily stayed by her side the entire time, holding her hand firmly. She didn't leave when the paramedics questioned her. She didn't step aside when they lifted Martha onto the stretcher. "Are you family?" one of the paramedics asked. Lily looked at Martha, then back at him. "Yes," she said without hesitation. "I am now." Martha's eyes filled with tears, not of fear, but gratitude. At the hospital, doctors confirmed it was severe exhaustion mixed with stress and low blood sugar. She hadn't been taking care of herself. She hadn't eaten properly in days. Lily sat beside her hospital bed, peeling an orange and offering her slices one by one. "You didn't have to stay," Martha said softly. "I know," Lily replied, smiling, "but I wanted to." As the hours passed, they talked. Martha shared stories of her husband, her struggles, her loneliness. Lily listened without judgment. In return, Lily shared her own story, how she had once fainted in public, and no one had helped her. She had promised herself that if she ever saw someone in need, she would never walk away. Before leaving, Lily handed Martha a piece of paper with her phone number. "You're not alone anymore," she said. "Call me whenever you need anything, even if it's just company." The next day, Lily returned, not with flowers, but with something even better, a basket filled with groceries, fresh fruits, bread, homemade soup, and a box of strawberries. Martha gasped. "Strawberries?" Lily grinned. "You mentioned your husband used to make them special for you. I don't know how he did it, but I tried." She had cut them into little heart shapes. Martha held one to her chest. Tears streamed down her face, not from sadness, but from overwhelming warmth. For the first time in months, she felt alive. Kindness doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as stopping when others walk away. One moment of compassion can rewrite someone's entire story. Be someone's Lily, because you never know whose life you might save just by caring.